Where's the motor mount pads?
Should be laying right here somewhere. They're all rubber banded together. Use your own bolts that you got your motor in, though. Like is what you were doing before.
Yeah. Okay, guys. What I'm going to do after lunch here is I'm going to take the canopy off and paint these spots, or paint underneath the canopy white. And John suggested I take some white and shoot a little bit on where the blue is to start lightening it up. So that's what we're going to do, because then I got to go back and sand.
That'll also show up some of your your spots that still need sanding.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
Won't hurt anything.
There's plenty of those. That's one thing that was nice about DC 540. It showed up all the buggers.
Oh yeah.
Put some feather fill in it.
It was so nice because it dried so fast and sanded so nice.
So light too.
Yeah. Have just about every attribute you can want.
You should be able to take this camera upstairs and still shoot. Because if you got new internet, right? It did work in the garage before.
Yeah, it worked out there before.
I only had 2 bolts in this. You got any extra bolts?
Yeah. What are they? 1 inch?
Yeah. box are they in? You could- Why can't it be this light when I'm done?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah, 8 and 2. Hey Alexander, audio and video is great, great. We're gonna go upstairs in the garage and I'm gonna shoot this. So he's only getting a table for Friday, huh?
Evidently.
No, I can't be there. All the good stuff's gonna be gone.
You're not there Friday. That's how I always seen it. You gotta be there the first day. All them things. I think Toledo's this weekend. I like to go to Toledo, but I can't swing it. That's a 4-hour drive, something like that. I just dinged that in.
Down the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but it's there. Pisses me off, so I end up having to cut a little notch out of that and put a piece of wood in it and sand it all flat again.
Let's go upstairs. Take this camera. Kobe.
Sand and dust. See, I got a spot in that one right there, just like you did. Be a big blue smattering of crap along that.
Here. We won't be up there long, I don't suppose. And I wish it was this light.
Yeah. Something about a place in ice water.
I mean, it's literally like 2 seconds worth. I didn't have these bottom ones sanded, but that's all right. We'll get some paint on it.
Yeah, I gotta keep the overspray down, man.
Pressure pumped up.
Probably should have some air in it.
Into the booth. Okay, we got 3. Let's have some more.
One roll it out there. Should be enough. Should be.
Well, guys, we're gonna make some compressor noise. Sorry about that, but what are you gonna do?
a joke head?
That's where we get this from for kids. It's way too high. Didn't really know what we were doing then. Get shut off here. So what I have to spray, that takes more time to set up. Cut it off. We don't need it.
There's 150 pounds in there right now, and it said, I got set at about.
So this is-
About 65 pounds.
This is Randolph White, ready to spray, right?
Yeah.
And this gun here?
Yeah, unless you wanted to go smaller. You probably want to put a little bit of paint on it anyway. So.
Yeah.
I wish I had a hose that laid flat. One of these hoses are made to go on one of those reels.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use some primer on that. I can see that coming. It's all kind of buggered in it. Okay.
And get in the case of the ugly. Any kind of paint you put on some good.
Look at that business there. Gonna take some primer there.
Yeah. That's what takes it so long is you get. At least you're getting a little white.
That's all brush painted inside there.
That's where all your 80 grit Cindy marks come out.
Yeah. I'll get him out. You know I will.
Yeah, you got to.
Wow.
Amazing what you can't see when it's in tinted clear. Or clear, for that matter.
That's a half a cup, so that's an ounce worth. Still need some more.
That might be thin a little more than 50%.
That's all right. It's just the guide coat.
Mhm. It definitely guides you. Guides you to that big roll of sandpaper.
But at least I'm turning it white instead of blue
Yeah.
or gray.
This is the only way you can use the least amount of paint. You gotta just paint the spots. Fix the boogers, painted the spots again. Only then are you gonna be able to paint the whole thing.
Wow, man, it's gonna take a lot of work from here.
Your lighting must not be very good in an apartment.
No, it's not. This coat of paint here was basically just to get the cockpit white so I could glue the canopy on at home. But John said that I should start getting the silicone things tinted white. I agree. But man, does it show up the buggers. There's gonna be some serious sanding going on.
This is the detail thing.
Go ahead and spray the rest of this on here and that's it. What do you think? Should I put some more on it?
No, probably not. Maybe right in that, get that blue little color right there. And these spots are pretty good. If you get those, you don't have to use time on the color blue. Probably better to get a good, little rough coat on one and let it dry a little bit, and then second coat of cover, not better than the spray the full coat on.
Look at this. This is going to take some serious straightening up. This area here.
Yeah.
The hard spot right there.
Well, you got a spot right there that's just
Alright.
putty too thick that'll sand out.
Yeah.
That's just neat, that's just level down, that's a little bit.
Got the paper.
It'll bring up where you sand it through the paper real fast. Tell you all that, probably on wing tips.
And maybe one more cupful. Get these spots again. This superfill's sucking the dope in.
Yeah. That'll do, that's probably thin 60%.
Let's see if anybody said anything. Got 8 and 8. Great job. I clicked that thumbs up for you. Thank you, Greg. Greg Festo, he's over from Bad Chad channel.
Boy, Bad Chad and his haven't laid the primer on.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, things I don't have AT&T Direct TV. Dear customer.
I get those. I've been getting from USA.
Yeah. All right, so basically what I've done is I put 2 ounces of white dope on this, only in the spots that are blue, that is the superfill. I'm waiting a few minutes, I go back and hit it, put 2 more ounces on it, just in the blue areas. But you say it's mixed 60-40, so it's really
about 60-40.
so it's really only an ounce. And then I'll let it dry, and I'll fix those areas. Boy, it even wrinkled the paper there, got it wet there.
Yeah, wet.
I'll fix those areas. I might take a little bit of the Crest primer in some spots, maybe, because it's got some bad spots here that I'll go over and fix. And then next week I'll shoot it with white. I should have it straightened out by then, I would hope. But it's going to take at least another. I'm gonna have to sand off camera because that 1 hour a day shit ain't gonna make it.
Well, not if you got a deadline.
Got the end of this month. End of this month, she's got to be done. We got to get her trimmed out, flying. I got my Dr. Pepper hat, my Dr. Pepper shirt to match the airplane, 2 of them. So I'll be set to go for my Dr. Pepper airplane.
You got your white pants and your white tennis shoes.
There will be no ice cream man pants. It'll be Levi's only. I got pictures of me in white pants. White shirt.
Some of them guys could keep themselves squeaky clean. I could never do that.
No.
I'd have stains on my white clothes right off of that.
Okay. So we're still on the 1-quart regiment so far. So only hitting the blue spots with the white because I need them. I'm basically using the white as a primer. Get the top grid area, and it'll all get sanded back off, or a good portion of it. I see a spot there, I need some aqua green. Damn, I put my thumb in the wet paint trying to turn this thing over. Oh well. Right on the flat, it'll sand out.
Yeah, you're in the major sand stage. You're gonna do it now.
Yeah. Not good. That was not smart, but it's not a big deal. It'll sand right up.
Thanks for clicking the thumbs up button.
How do you paint without using paint? Gonna need some work there. Need some work here. I guess I better stop and get some 600. I think we're kind of done on the 320 now,
Yeah. You get the time to switch to finder.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
I'll hit that with primer.
It's gonna bring out all the buggers.
This is a disaster over here.
There's a big line right there. It's gonna be feathered out.
Oh yeah, nice.
And it's just gotta be feathered out. So at least it's not adding, you're taking off.
I'm gonna go put it on the scale and be 70 ounces.
You could put a whole tube of that green stuff on there.
Oh yeah.
Pound of silver.
Come next week for the color, it'll be ready.
He tells you exactly what he's gonna do, and all this is doing is just showing up all the spots that he needs to fix, and then it'll be a whole different airplane in the paint booth next week.
You gotta have so much dope on it to seal the paper. I mean, the nice ridge there, it's gonna need some aqua green. See that? You can't see that in that.
I saw it yesterday, or this morning when we got here and the garage door was up.
Yeah.
That was perfect lighting in here. It wasn't bright, it was sort of dingy lighting, but it was the right kind of lighting.
Yeah. That just looks good like that. Good. See where I put my thumb?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
At the end of that. Right center through this. That's enough dope for today. We buy the cheap thinner, $40 for 5 gallons, only for cleaning the gun. Do not use this stuff for cleaning the gun. $55 a gallon. Yeah. How bad does it look?
All right. I could lie to you, I could tell you the truth.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear?
I want to hear this done.
Not as bad as what you think it is.
Oh, no, I know that.
It's just your typical
First coat.
first coat. That's always an eye opener.
Remember what I told you downstairs? It's gonna be ah.
It always is, every time. And,
This is
everything
trash,
never
right?
changes.
Where's trash?
This is trash. It should have
No,
nothing
that's-
on it that
that's-
said trash.
No, this is cheap thinner here.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, right?
Right, but I'm looking for trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
Just spray it into that box. Get a little heat. Gonna have some more noise.
Yeah, we gotta have noise. I'm looking for Chris head towards white, it's clean. It's already headed towards white, and I'll get the canopy mounted. Silver, it'll turn your skin blue permanently. I kid you not. Well, there's other things that are going on that are even worse than that, but I can't talk about them. Unthin white there to there, unthin, and I will thin it to there, so it'll be that much paint. I'll paint all of it onto this airplane, and that'll be my limit. Then I have 1/2 quart of clear Then I'll pour in this after the trim colors, of course, the red, the white, or the red and the blue. Then it gets half a quart of clear and then filled up to the top with thinner, and that gets all sprayed on. That'll be a 6-ounce finish. If you do coat after coat of silver and white and primer, I've seen as much as a 16-ounce finish on some of these airplanes. You cannot paint these like a car or a motorcycle. Forget it. No. White colored butyrate. I'll just go ahead and get my whole half, all the white I'm going to use. Thing's starting to work its way out into the door. I bought some rubber. I got some rubber pads putting underneath the feet on it, but they won't keep it from walking. I have to drill holes, and I've been hesitant about drilling holes in my garage floor. Okay, this is all the white paint that's going to, maybe not even this much, but this is what I'm taking. This is all the white paint that's going to go on that airplane. You take this and fill it all the way to the top with thinner, but I have to have unthinned white to paint the inside of my canopy, so I'll take this home with me. So that's my white for the plane. Looks like I should probably see about buying some clear and some white before the prices go up.
Yeah, if they haven't already.
I mean, dope is such a, how much white or how much clear we got? That's non-fountain?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And how much it is?
We got plenty of this.
There's a gallon there.
I probably got 2 gallons or 3 gallons of that in the basement.
So the trick now is to take a brush, paint the inside of the canopy up 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. So when I glue this on here, I got a little dent right there too. You see that?
Yeah.
Have to get a headrest on there.
And get your black in there. You got an airbrush at the apartment, right?
Oh, yeah.
And a little compressor.
Yeah.
I thought you bought one.
Yeah, I got the Grex there and my
So
Iwata.
you can go in there and spray all that in black and
Oh, no, brush it in there.
do that. You got flat black.
Yeah, I use that paint that they painted the pilot with. Water base it.
Yeah, that's what you need.
What the heck is my there?
That's a acrylic. You don't have to have it fuel proof or anything because you got a canopy over it. This has to look the part.
Yeah, what's
Should
my...
have taken the wheels off and got some big white on these pants.
Primer. What do you think about that dip? You think I ought to worry about it? It probably won't show, will it?
I know you, but I'd probably just let it go, put the canopy on, take the canopy on there when everything dries and look and see if I can see it. You got a bottle on back there too, don't you?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Well, if you put an oxygen bottle back there or something, try to make it to where it covers that. You won't have to mess with it.
What I use for the line is solder.
There's 70 ounces.
Yeah. Piece of solder, you know, you can bend it around.
Need to take a piece of wire and pull the wire out of the sheathing and just use a piece of that rubber sheathing off of a piece of 12 gauge, 14 gauge wire.
That's a big hose. I'm using a 16-inch piece of solder. It's tiny.
I might have a little piece of aluminum tubing. You could make it almost real. Be lighter than a piece of solder.
Was it warm out there yet?
You know, I had oxygen masks on the pilots in my Tucano. And, you know, they got a hose that comes off the oxygen mask, you know. So I took a little thin piece of wire and ran it up a piece of balsa wood. And then I took that balsa wood and sanded little round nicks in it. And you know how they're sort of corrugated? And then I took a piece of heat shrink tubing and put over the top of it and shrank it down into all those little sandy grooves and looked just like an oxygen mask hose.
Okay, here's what we got from Tough Enough for You. Even spreads are super important at that limit. Yes. Running an air gun. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about spray guns, but an Iwata HPTH is an amazing unit. Iwata makes great products, but the one that will spray the least amount of paint on anything is a Grex. It sprays nothing. It'll take you a while, but it's...
Well, it depends on whether you're talking an airbrush or a, you know, the Grex is sort of an in-between. It's smaller than that small Harbor freight gun, but it's bigger than an airbrush. You'd play heck painting a whole airplane like this with an airbrush, and that'd take you forever. And you see all sorts of lines and everything else.
I got a SATA, but it puts too much paint on.
I got little testers, one of the cheapest testers that you can get that I've used for 30 years now. I think it costs
$3.
yeah, something like that. It works pretty good for trim colors and stuff like that. It'll put some paint out. Then I got an old-fashioned bottom cut gun that's what I shot that Tucano with, was a bottom fed gun.
It should be dry here shortly. Take it off the stand and take it back downstairs. I can see a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's fine work, and you knew you was gonna go over this at least 2 more times.
I can see a lot of work.
It definitely brought out all the boogers in it. Really, it's not too bad overall. I mean, when you could sit here and walk around that whole airplane right now and in 2 hands count the spots, which is basically what you got, 2 hands worth of spots, 10 spots. Right, probably got 15 that we're not really seeing all of them, but there's not that many. It's not like you, every time you do this, that number count goes down.
Well, it won't be ready to paint until I bring it over here for you to go there, there, and there, there, and there. You know, and that wasn't the point of today. That was.
This is just getting started on it, getting the cockpit ready.
Yeah.
Because it really needs to be done now, because you got a bunch of filler and all that stuff going on the outside bit, blending in and all that more sanding. But it gets started on all the blue, gets that sort of blotted out.
That really seems.
So all this stuff will cover. I mean, it's still got a little bit of a blue tinge under it, but when you put that top coat on there, all that'll go away.
Really brings out the Star Horse look on that leading edge. You can see it. I wish I'd have filmed it.
Well, there's no airplane that you're gonna see out there on that line outside of a foam wing airplane that doesn't have that.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Even the best finishers have that, and even the best finishers have it worse than what that one is. Now look at mine. You use 3/32 inch wood, I use 16th.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, that will do it in a heartbeat. That's why I try not to sand it. Now I'll sand flat up here to get the cap strips.
Yeah, but you haven't covered yours yet.
What do you mean?
You
Oh, on that one,
Yeah.
yeah.
could suck down big time.
Yeah, well, all my airplanes have been built out of 16th inch wood.
Suck down big time.
Yeah. You can't get away from it. And I sanded everything on the molds before I put it on there even. Did not touch any leading edge sanding whatsoever. Only just to, like I say, knock these down. And the paper was on it and all that stuff before I ever even touched sandpaper to the leading edge again after that.
This is discouraging to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. You can get to see what you thought was good.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what. If you'd gone through this airplane and painted it with primer,
That'd be perfect.
it wouldn't look as bad.
Right, it'd be perfect. But it'd be 5 ounces heavier.
Yeah. And then these little imperfections that you're seeing right now wouldn't even show up when there's none sand in the primer.
Well, I am gonna spot these. With
So
the-
this was 600, use a 500 or 600 grit on this. I'd be willing to wager that in a matter of not including the cockpit, but fixing these little spots right down here one day.
Yeah.
On one day, not an hour.
Yeah. Well, the hour a day thing is gonna have to go by the wayside if I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna have to make haste tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah. It'll take a day to get the cockpit in.
No, it won't take that long.
It would take me that long. I don't like going by the way it'd take me.
I'll have that puppy in tonight. I'll have the cockpit, the canopy glued down tonight.
You do things different than I do.
Yeah. And by tomorrow, it'll be molded in, and
You use faster drying glue than I do. You glue things and work on things while it's still wet, and I don't. It's just a few things, but it's guaranteed you build faster than I do, by all means, but.
I'll have, I can see what I have to do. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but I think within a day, a good 8 hours, 10 hours, you'll have all that stuff worked out of it. 99% of it. You're still gonna have a few, but.
I was laying in a chair.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit. Yeah, won't fall down.
Backwards.
We've been on an hour, 13 and 10. Let's see, not a little gun. It offers a wide spray cap pattern as well as round and trigger operation instead of top button type. It's the in-between unit. Look up Grex, Grex.
Can't remember the number of that gun.
I'm about to wake up your channel. Hold tight. You're fixing to get hold of a lot of traffic. Well, that'd be cool. Look up GREX, and then I have the wide angle spray pattern tip and large nozzle with the large cup, top fed cup. And that really sprays. Oh, you just did, right. Yeah, that is the trick right there. I got about $400 in that thing. It's $200 for the basic gun. And then I got all the attachments and cups and.
It's a nice gun. It's a really nice gun. Now I've been fortunate. I've got about 5 of these Harbor Freight HVLP guns. I have 1 out of the 5 that shoots a really nice pattern. Shoots just a really nice thin flat pattern. The rest of them sort of spit and sputter. Which are okay for primers and base coats or base clear coats. But that gun right there is nothing but for white and clear. And that's all I ever use it for. Then I go to the Grex or whatever. The Grex is the only one that I could think of that you could paint this plane maybe a little bit lighter with. And paint a whole airplane, but it would still take longer than with that gun.
Oh yeah, it takes some time.
And you might get some striping associated with it. That's the problem with spraying with 2 small guns, such a large surface, is every time you go across here, you get a stripe in it.
Yeah, you need to get it wet.
And it doesn't matter whether you go one way, and that way, and that way, and you put 4 or 5, 15 coats on it. Yeah, you might get a lot of that out there, but it's not worth the hassle. Get it on there, the base color with a big gun or a bigger gun.
The biggest thing is to limit the paint supply. Like I said, this is more than I'll use. Yeah, John's got a whole cupboard full of. I got a bunch of guns at home and in my apartment.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what I wanted to show them.
That's development, isn't it?
Well, it's probably not Velvet, but it's a Dollar General.
Chinese knockoff developers.
I painted an 18-point finish airplane with this gun right here. That gun right there. All my clear coats and all my main color coats, my Takano, I painted with that gun right there. And that thing cost me $19 at Dollar General or Dollar Store or some kind of dollar store. Wendy uses one of these a lot. Used to. And he's on the HVLPs now, but
We're almost trying not to take it off the stand. I don't want to put my fingerprints in the spot that's wet.
yeah, you'll do that going downstairs.
Huh?
You might do that going downstairs.
Or turn it upside down the foam pad to put it back together.
Yeah.
Give us more excuses to buy more tools, so we want for the hobby, but can't live without. Oh yeah, that's right. I have an Iwata Eclipse airbrush and then the Grex airbrush or paint gun. The Grex is great. The Iwata Eclipse is good too, but it's a suction. The Grex is gravity. The biggest thing to a shine is the sandpaper. The stuff that nobody likes to stand
More
for.
sanding. This little cheap badger right here will do wonders. It doesn't take a $300 airbrush. I mean, you could get one. They do shoot a little bit nicer but you get used to one of these and know how to use it. It'll work for you. This will paint right down to nothing. It won't put out any paint for shading and stuff like that. But it's too small to do any lines, big lines, or trim work. It's only good for, when you've got a solid cockpit on there and you want a little silver shadowing around the edges.
Yeah, too tough. Look on my channel for gold leaf. And you'll see a red airplane I did. It's called a Monado. I don't think the video is named Monado, but there's a whole series and build on that. And that finish on that airplane is fantastic. And it's light. White is the heaviest color. But we're trying to minimize the white by tinting the clear.
If you hadn't had all that super cool on it, you could have already done a whole coat of it on there.
Yeah.
And it would have been just like that.
Yeah.
Well, thin that way, that's thin 60% at least.
That's pretty nice there, really.
Yeah.
It'll be nicer, you can still see brush strokes in it. It'll be nicer when I sand it with 600 or.
Yeah, no, I'd like to start going sooner to the spray gun. As soon as you get the tissue on it, one painted coat on there, paintbrush coat on, goes to the gun.
I don't have that luxury where I'm at. You do over here. I mean, if I'm at home, I do, but
Right, I understand that.
I'm building in the closet. Actually, I want you guys to take all your tools and go into the bathroom and build your airplane in the bathroom, and then you'll get the experience where this airplane was built.
I gotta say, you got a small apartment. It's smaller than a motel room.
Oh yeah, it's tiny. And it's filled with crap.
You got 5 or 6 full-size planes in there.
No, I
work
took some
bench.
home.
You took some home?
Yeah, I took 2 of them home.
Boxes of wood.
Monado's at home and the Tucker's at home.
So you actually put your laundry basket in there and you're tripping over it.
The high roller's gonna go home too. I don't foresee needing that for a while. Oh, this will sand right out.
You need 2 airplanes.
Yeah. I got airplanes over here.
Yeah.
I got
What'd he
airplanes.
do about that? Did he ever call you?
No.
I gave him your phone number to call you.
It's all right.
He called, he texted me and bitching. Well, he doesn't get a hold of me. What do I do? I said, well, don't talk to me about it, call him. I gave him your number and I guess he never called you.
Don't matter. I'll finish that airplane and give it away.
I figured it was. He probably figured it was worth too much. Probably looked up the price of them.
It's a $150 kit, less the motor, less the labor.
It's at least $150 kit, isn't it?
Maybe it was $190, I don't remember. Whatever Dixon sells them for.
Ringmaster 576. Big foam wing airplane. That's a big airplane. It's a big Ringmaster. Everybody says Joe Gilbert flying them Ringmasters. Yeah, he flies a Ringmaster, but it is no stock Ringmaster.
It's not an S1.
No. Or an S2 or an S3. His main Ringmaster big profile that he flies is a 576 Dixon airplane.
And right here, this is gonna get some green right there, actual green. Cause this is gonna be blue. And this blue will show all the buggers.
Yep, every one of them.
It'll really show the star.
That's a dark blue too.
Yeah.
That's a military blue, insignia blue.
Fortunately for me, the bottom is gonna be checkerboard. So it won't even show any of this, but it's gotta have a decent coat of white on it.
Yeah, and all that'll cover with one coat.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of work to do on my wart. I've gotta still tissue those. Try to get them done tomorrow.
This plane I'm building right now, I'm gonna bring this tail post out and I'm gonna make this fuselage wider back here. And then let it taper from here to here. And that transition you'll never see because it'll be under the stab and elevator. It'll come back and then drastically go in.
My last form was at the leading edge here.
Well, I'll put one in here to spread that out. Make this almost go flat. In here, it'd be that much wider.
Okay? I don't like that look, but you can do
You
it.
don't see it. It's underneath the airplane. But you don't have to put a warden on it. That's gonna happen now. If you're doing any sanding, you're gonna burn through it every now and then. My stepson, he paints cars and does Porsches and stuff like that. You ought to hear him cuss when he sands through his primer and burns his primer. That's enough to make a guy pissed off.
This here's gonna have to get actual green on it. I don't know how that got a low spot there.
It's gonna take a lot less work than what you think it is.
Oh, I
By
know.
the time you get through this and sand this out.
It'll be fine.
I'm surprised you don't have more 80 grit sand. If you weren't such a good sander, you'd have a lot more 80 grit sandpaper marks in that puppy.
Well, I kinda know when to stop.
So 80 grit will get it down there fast. That's nice getting it down there, or 40 grit or whatever. But
36 I use.
You have to stop soon enough that you can take 100 grit or 120 and 240 and 320 and get those scratches out because they leave some gouges.
I swear, when I take a block and that, I have one piece of sandpaper I've had 20 years, 36 grit.
Yeah.
On a big block. It's a green block. And I hold a block of wood in my hand and I go cross grain, hatching it, and it peels it off just like shredded beef.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can see it now. Looks like a metal lathe throwing shavings off.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing? Well,
I just took one pass and it took 1/4 of an inch off this solid chunk of wood.
I'm shaping. Here, go ahead and let's get it off.
Yeah, it gets it down fast. I mean, that's nice. You learned on these, didn't you? You gotta put them in there tight.
We need to. We had to wait. What was it? 1,400 something grand.
Yeah.
We can put it back together and weigh it and see what that cost me. Doesn't feel any different, but
Probably cost you 1/4 ounce. And you're gonna sand half that off there, so 1/8 an ounce.
grab the camera. Don't forget the charger. I gotta have another soda.
Here we go with the vomit can. Called it the vomit can.
The vomit can?
Like them guys, when you're flying, they're taping you flying and they're going back and forth like this, back and forth like this, back and forth like that. It's like, gee, when it's Christmas, you're getting me sick to my stomach. Step back about 10 feet further and just hold the camera still.
So I'll wait a few minutes here and got a spot right there too on the dashboard. I can see what's going to happen already. Got a spot right there on the dash and a spot right there. I'm going to have to fix those and then airbrush them.
Yeah, that's probably right. Sounds like you. Sounds like what you'll do.
Do that, it's going to have some type. Oh, I can put a magazine up there.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
put something on it.
I did that on one airplane.
There's all sorts of ways around that stuff. Plan your paint scheme around
A mistake.
your mistakes.
We won't be ready to stand for a while here. Let's get some aqua green, man. That spot that you talked about today, it is coming back. So
Yeah.
you'll take a little aqua layer. I'll see some pinholes right there. See some blood right there.
Gotta leave your mark.
Yeah.
This wing's got blood in it. I jabbed I put a slice in my finger by being stupid and holding a piece of balsa wood in my hand and cutting it at the same time instead of putting it down. And that scalpel got me, man. I tell you, scalpels will get you.
Yeah, we gotta switch to the 600 though.
It's time. It is time.
I like 320, and I might hit these big spots here with 320, and then who knows?
The only thing about finer sandpaper, it just takes longer to do the job. But you're not doing any shaping.
Right.
All you're doing is smoothing. So 4 or 600 grit, 600 grit, 500 grit, you can get all them different grits like that. 500 probably be about right.
I got some of that. But it's that crappy.
That might be about 120 if it's Harbor Freight paper.
It is that crappy Harbor Freight paper. It's stiff, boy.
500 might be 120. You gotta watch that stuff. There's some of it's pretty good though. I mean, they're 1200. Isn't too bad. I think the paper's a little stiff on it, but outside of that.
Tough Enough for You did not understand why it was the heaviest. It is because interesting. It says, ironically, the light spectrum white is the most amount of energy to create since its full intensity of red, blue, and green. Haha, believe me, I came up in race cars, drag cars specifically, family. There isn't anything I haven't heard in the garage on working cars or painting engines. Haha, that's not the sandpaper, it's the cheese grater. Yep, he's talking about 36. Sort of topic, but I am a laser tech and build laser machines. Many of them built for use for cutting model parts, like the one over there. He didn't say one over there. I wish I had a way to show you one in action, but this chat doesn't allow links. It's the red and gold plane close. Is that red and gold plane? He's interested in seeing that. I found, wow, beautiful way to put those gold letters. Oh, no, that airplane is hanging on my shop wall in St. Louis. That's the Monado. I'm in Ohio right now. I work in Ohio but live in St. Louis. So as far as laser cutters go, well, maybe we can help each other out. This is a 3-axis laser cutter underneath this that I bought. John and I were, what contest was that? Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland.
We were at the Cleveland contest. We were in a hotel, and they had a laser cutter commercial come on. And I go, I gotta have one.
You got a wild hair.
So I bought a laser cutter, and we brought it back here. We cut one nose ring. It's off size because everything's in metric, and I don't understand G code, so I'm stuck. I gotta know G code. So let's see what he says here. Yeah, over there is I have a laser cutter. It's also a router.
There's a program I think that you can get now. Whether or not it will work with that, I think that you can just run copies of stuff and copy it, and it'll cut whatever you copy, as long as whatever size it is and all that. Which would be the easy way. I mean, that way you could draw something out on a piece of paper and just run it through the copy machine.
I tried Lightburn. What's going on here? And let's see here. I I found it beautiful. Way to put the, yeah, that's not the correct way to put the gold letters on, but that's how I did it on that one. I can build you a unit you won't believe, I'm sure. The program is called Lightburn. I have Lightburn on my desktop that I run that off of. However, they started charging for it, and I didn't buy it.
Actually, I like pin routing better than I like laser cutting.
I got a pin router for it.
Because you don't get any burn edges.
And the smell is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Smells like you're burning the house down.
Your airplane smells like that too. You know, you don't never get this burnt smell out of it. I'm not a big fan of burnt wood.
As far as that gold leaf letters on the Monado, let's see, I helped with firmware and he developed it. I can get it for you for $20. Great, I'll take it. I helped with firmware development for it. I can't believe I can give you the software code for 20. Yeah, no problem. Go to the About page and find my email address and send me an email. Stuntvideos@stunthanger.com. We'll work something out. Yeah, no problem. Send me an email. I'll reply to it.
Yeah, that'd be the way.
It's worth a $20 gamble.
The guy knows what he's talking about. It's not a gamble. It's a fact.
This is the internet, you know.
I mean, he makes. If you're making your own stuff, there's a lot involved in that, a lot more than what meets the eyes. Now, some guys it's pretty easy to deal with that stuff all the time, but your rank amateur, you barely have enough computer time to operate a computer.
Okay, guys, what you got to understand is I'm an old guy. We're all old guys in this hobby.
Yeah.
And I don't have enough time left in my life to learn all these programs. I've got a vinyl cutter that I use. What the hell program is it? I can't even remember.
I can't remember it because it's a different program, and
Right.
you use two different programs on that, don't you?
Right. And then I got Photoshop, and I have Inkscape, and I have Corel Draw.
SketchUp.
How can one guy possibly know everything? You can't. I don't have the time. And that's why that laser cutter's sitting over there in the corner, because I would have to teach myself G-code.
Well, then you're working a full-time job.
Yeah, I'm working a full-time job. I'm supposed to be retired, but I'm working a full-time job.
So, yeah, it doesn't leave a lot of hours.
Plus, I'm trying to build model airplanes. And trust me, I can think of it, cut the wood, and put it together faster than you guys can get it out on paper.
Probably, yeah.
And mine will work and yours won't.
But well, it's one thing if you're sitting down and you're drawing up a set of plans or whatever, and you're plotting all the parts and pieces to be cut out down the line, and even doing that, you're going to have to print prototypes out and check them and go over them and build test bed and all that stuff. Double check that you didn't make any mistakes somewhere along the line, and then if you did, then you got to go back in the program and correct all that stuff. I could probably, I know I can scratch build faster than I can do all that, but I'm not building to sell.
Right.
You know, I'm building for personal gratification as far as any kind of a, you know, laser cutter or a pin router or something like that. It would be for very small things. It'd probably be for, you know, cutting out Sparky's hinges out of plywood.
Yeah.
And a couple different sizes.
That machine would do it, but it's cheaper for me to give the guy $30 to send me a half a gazillion hinges pin routed, and I don't have to worry about it.
Well, we had one program for that, just for 2 different sized hinges or 3 different sized hinges. Say you made them in quarter, 3/8, and half.
Yeah, well, that'd be worth it.
That gives you all the different flap thicknesses and trailing edge thicknesses that you ever deal with. And, you know, you want a 1/4 inch, you plug this program into it, and you cut a 8 by 10 inch piece.
I know.
They give you probably 100 hinges out of a 8 by 10 inch piece of plywood.
But what I'm saying is, I don't have enough time in the day to learn how to do that. When I can just say, well, here's $30, route them up.
Yeah, I thought about a tabletop injection molding machine and make those hinges out of.
Yeah,
plastic.
you sent that to no thanks.
You know,
It'd be one more program I'd have to learn.
no, there's no computer to it. It's all manual. The biggest thing would be building a die, and a die ain't nothing. Not for those. I mean, that's just a. If you don't want to, you know, be down to the 150 thousandths of an inch or something like that, it doesn't have to be that accurate. All it has to be is plus or minus 1,000.
10,000.
You know, or whatever, and then basically you could take a 1/4 inch end mill, a 1/2 inch end mill, and, you know, and a 3/8 inch end mill, and just do a little dot or a series of dots down through there, and some an eighth inch bit, and router some tabs, some legs on them, and make a spew, which wouldn't be much anything to do to, and you can make one that mold maybe say 10 hinges at a time.
This is my laser cutter. I don't know what brand it is. It's Ching Chong Chinaman brand. I do have limit switches for it, but I haven't got around to putting them on. So
It'll do it. That's got about an 8 by 10 bed on, or a 10 by 10. Or...
yeah, it's a 15-watt laser, and I have a router. The reason why it's over here is I don't have the room for it in my bathroom. It'd have to sit in the bathtub.
I don't have the computer program for it to play with it even.
Well,
I mean, you got all that on your computer.
you can get it. Just have to learn how to do G-code.
Yeah. Well, then you learn that, then it stops me from building.
I know.
It's just unless there's a quick learning way of doing it, and there's somebody out there knows the quick way to learn this stuff.
It's a vector. Yes, you're everything you need. Any of those will work with my lasers, yeah. My units have a DSP chip, digital signal processor, but writes the G-code. I'll take you up on the bet. I don't know what the bet is. Yeah, I look 50 years old. Yeah, thanks.
Cutting and hand cutting and building the airplane. I'm sure that's what it's.
I've been building 58 years. Building.
Yeah, we got 116 years of building experience right here.
Just my speed. Well, anybody that follows this channel knows how fast I can build. can build. I built a concourse winning Aries in 11 days. Scratch, I-beam wing, first piece of wood cut into the air in 11 days.
Those weren't your normal days.
No.
Those weren't 8-hour days. Those were 12 or 14-hour days.
20.
20-hour days. There we go. It takes so many hours. It doesn't matter what you're building. There is so many hours that have to go into it. It doesn't matter what's done because the stuff just doesn't build itself. I might make this like an extra 300 or something.
That's been done.
Well, you should just got one like that out there.
Extra 300 was done by Richard Oliver. No, wait a minute. Not Richard Oliver.
There was a profile version.
Frank McMillan.
There was a profile version of that was done.
There's a couple of McMillans.
Mike McHenry's got one that he flies in scale. That's some kind of big 6-inch wingspan RC airplane converted in throw wide. Him and Alan Goff did it was a real nice airplane. Those guys do good work.
I don't know about all that.
They do. Mike's pretty good. Mike's a good builder. I've got a cow.
He's a slow flyer.
From China. Yeah, he's the slowest flyer you'll ever see him fly. Of course, I could do a yak. There's a yak cow.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I got a yak right there, about the same size as this cow goes on, except it's a profile. And that's something you can go online and buy these from Banggood or wherever for about $8.
Fiberglass good. Or, yeah.
No, I think it's molded plastic with fiberglass reinforced is the way I think they're doing
It's heavy though.
it. I don't know if you build one that big out of wood that's any lighter.
Oh yeah. That's heavy.
That would make
How much does it weigh?
one ounce.
It's good. About the same weight as my cow. Weigh that.
And 7/10 of an ounce.
No, I thought it was the same weight. It'll be an ounce with the paint on it.
That'd be about the right size though. It's really about 40 size. But invert the engine, stick the head out here. Build the fuselage up for that. That's what I thought about doing. Except I was gonna make a mold of this and mold one myself. If I can't mold one myself for cheap as you can find one.
You're gonna make a mold. Make a mold of this, and let's make some of these. These Medusa spinners. Unobtainiums.
Try to do all that stuff under pressure. Then have male, female molds.
Yeah, Danny's working on it.
It's not that we couldn't make it.
Make anything.
You have to do it out of hard plastic. You can't do it out of that Mold Max 30 rubbery stuff.
He said they only look 50. That's great, isn't it? Where's my 35-year-old girlfriend?
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
We're both the same age. It's hard to cover up this silver hair.
Or this bald head. You can cover up bald head with a hat.
A 60-year-old pot belly.
65-year-old.
65-year-old pot belly, yeah. I was just doing a generalization.
Yeah.
Makes you feel younger if you just say, I'm 60-something. No, you're actually 21 and holding. Quit having birthdays on my 21st birthday.
My mom held on to 21 for about 40 or 50 years.
I figured that once you turn 21, there's nothing left to do. You know, you're legal to drink, you're legal to do anything you want to, and there's no reason to celebrate anymore, because from then on out, it's all downhill.
Yeah. So I'll put this back on. We're gonna get back on the scale and see how much weight I picked up from the paint. It was at 54, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 54.3 something. I remember the .3. Yeah, you gotta watch my basement like a hawk. I got low ceilings down here. Yeah, out of curiosity.
7 foot, 7'6" maybe.
7'3" about.
So Glenn would bend his head to get in here.
7'3", not including the ductwork that hangs down another 13, 14 inches.
The paint's not dry, really.
But
Still pretty green.
let's stick it on there.
But at least it's got a base that I can go ahead and sand out and airbrush over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to fix it.
I've been waiting on it. I know you too well. You see something, it's got your eye. It don't matter. Your eye will go right straight to that.
Okay.
That's the problem. Once you know something's there, nobody else may notice it, but you know it's there.
That's why I hate these airplanes. Where's the scale?
Right there.
Let's see how much we added. Hopefully just a 1/4 ounce, but I bet it's more. It's heavy. 1454.
$51.32.
How can that possibly be? Wasn't it 54?
What's your number again?
Come on. Got everything on it that it had before I painted it. 1455 now. I zeroed it out again. 2833.
15.3589. Didn't pick up anything. Well, I think it's 1.32, so
How many ounces is it? Once again. How many ounces is 1455?
it's 51.35 ounces.
Well, then I'll make under 50 ounces easy. Under 60, I mean easy.
I'll do it one more time. 1 for what?
We put it back on here again.
Yeah, why not? Is it zero? Is it zero?
Yes. 1455.
1455.
Divide by
28.33
equals.
equals 51.358. It was 51.32 or something like that.
51358.
I don't remember the minor decimal. I remember 51.3.
And we'll,
You know.
we'll make 58 ounces easy. As long as I don't lay on the green gob.
Well, we all know it's in the sanding, but here's where your guesstimations on weights will mess up.
Here's where it's wrong. 51 plus a propeller, 52, 53 ounces. Because you got to add the prop, and it's about an ounce and 7 or 8 tenths. So that's 53 plus a half ounce tip. That's 53 and a half.
You got fuel line.
54.
You got all your wheel colors and all that stuff on the wheels that you're gonna put on there. Tip weight.
I added that. 54. You have to be real stingy with the paint. 4 ounces of paint for 58.
Yeah. Well, you got at least. I mean, you're starting off with 2 ounces of paint.
If I hit 60, I'll be happy. 62, I'm not going to be happy, but 60, I'd be happy.
Anybody'd be happy for an airplane. Anybody'd be happy for an airplane that size coming in at 65, and they feel that's light. I know a guy that's building a 35 size airplane, a classic 35 size airplane, 35, 40 size airplane. It's got a 52-inch wingspan, and he's shooting for 60 ounces.
Tough enough. I will not see the email till I go home. I'm over at John's house, and I won't see it till I leave here and go home. But I'll email you back when I get there. Thank you.
Is he on the same time frame we are?
I don't know. He's in Texas, so he's
so he's 3 hours or something.
no, it's hour difference.
Only an hour?
I think they're Central Time. Oh, you're in Virginia, so you're same time as us.
Same time. Fine.
But I won't see it till I go home. And which is getting close here. About all the work done that I can get done today. So 3:30.
I need to start working on my wingtips here. And I'll start off with I don't know if I'm gonna start off with a 1-inch band around there or 2 pieces of 1/4 inch with a piece of 1/8 inch in between them.
Lightest wingtips is what I do, the 1/2 inch.
Oh, I know that. I'm just thinking about what I'm gonna use for the perimeter piece. You know, the center piece, because you gotta have a wing lead out guide. It's gotta be an 1/8 inch below center. So I'm trying to figure out the thickness that I want that piece running around there. It's gotta be at least this thick.
You putting a pipe in this or a muffler?
Probably probably that 65 pipe.
A muffler airplane, you notice that's on the center, that's not dropped.
Yeah. Because you don't have the unslung weight.
Right. That's why I asked. How much is this gonna take to finish?
Now you got what, 6 ounces before you reach 60.
Yeah. So one coat of white is 1 ounce. That's 55. And then the trim colors will say 56. And 3 coats of clear, that's 59. Yeah, it'd be great to hit.
It'd be great to hit. It sounds great in theory, but you know how that works.
Do you remember what my Dr. Pepper airplane came out? Was it 62?
Yeah, I think so. 60's not bad weight. That's a lot of wing area.
700 squares.
That's not a USA 1 wing.
No. Thicker.
You know, so, I mean, it's sort of one. Shape-wise. But we know what I know what you're looking for. I know what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I want to match that
I
Junar.
don't think you're ever going to do what you're trying to achieve.
That Junar flies so good. I want to match that Junar's weight with this power plant. But I don't think I'm going to do it like you say, because I had choice wood for the Junar.
Yeah.
And I painted it orange, which is a super, super light color. Because it took no paint. I mean, very and done. It's one coat.
Cover's really good. Orange cover's really good. Did you sand all that doctor's paper off that back there?
No, I put Japanese tissue over the top of it. That's why you see double layer.
Okay. Well, that costs you 1/2 ounce.
Nah.
You still gotta add tissue back there to the elevators.
Yeah.
That's another 1/4 ounce.
But the nice thing about jet tissue, it fills super quick.
Yeah, thank God. It's not impossible, but it's, yeah,
I know, it's tough.
it's just tough. It's just hard to do. You're painting with no paint. You're painting with no primer. You're using the lightest tissue, basically, that you really dare to use. I mean, you're building the airplane to last a year.
Right. I get more than a year out of them, but
Well, yeah, only because you don't mistreat them. You land good, you take off good. You're not flying off grass all the time, and you know, don't crash as frequently as you used to.
I never really crashed a lot. I mean, I crashed, but not a lot.
Well, you don't want to. You put all that work in one of the last thing you want to do is bust one up. Not like you're flying an ARF or something where you don't have any sweat equity in it. You fly it with reckless abandon. No,
It'll be fine. I'm a week out from paint.
yeah, it's surprising you. And even after that's dried, it doesn't show up what it did when it was wet. But it's like I say, you sand this. You spend a day sanding this. You spend all day tomorrow sanding this stuff, and it'll be ready to proceed on.
Oh, yeah.
But you better like sanding if you want to do this paint style and everything.
Yeah, if you don't,
You're going to do your fair share of sanding. It don't matter how good of a builder you are, you're going to have to sand like something else.
still have my first model from '93. Keep it in my room. It was a Hobbyco Flight Star 40 with an OSFP. Still runs fine. The old 4-channel Conquest Futaba. Yeah. Richard, it's going to be painted just like my Continental. Red, white, and blue art shawl paint job. Oh. Do you see this? Eastern. Yes, I saw you live in Eastern time. Yes.
Must have been flying this RC airplane in a really good area because we used to get hits all the time back in those days.
Tough enough for you. 3,500 member laser group on Facebook. That's great, but I'm not a Facebook member and will never be a Facebook member for the CIA operated Mark Zuckerberg. And if you don't believe me, it was called LifeLog. Look it up. The DARPA program.
It's a government program to track people.
Yep. I had a Facebook account for about a week. You know?
So I don't do anything. I don't give a shit if they track me. But I did get on there, and the only reason why I get on there is because I see my kids, and in the process of seeing what my kids post on there, my grandkids' activities or whatever. And even a lot of them have changed over to Parler and stuff like that.
Well, Trump's going to have a new one, and Mike Lindell's going to have a new one. Frank Talk. You know, I'm still going through this stupid thing with the hosting service.
Are you?
They still haven't called me back.
Huh.
I'm thinking about going to GoDaddy or somebody. I need a web server that speaks English,
Yeah.
not in the
You
Philippines.
You need a tech. that speaks English.
Right.
That's hard to find. We got Geek Squad
Yeah, but
for
that's
the thing.
Best
and
Buy.
No, it goes through India or Philippines or wherever, and that's what you get. You get somebody that doesn't speak fluent English.
Well, I paid $1,157, like I told you last week. I've got nothing for the money. You know, like Philippines. I can help you. My name is John. You sure your ass your name is John? Your name is Habib.
Yeah.
They don't. The only way they're doing sales in the United States, the only way I can speak to a English-speaking person is to call sales.
Yeah.
So they're screwing the customer. And you know what? I've been with the company ever since it started. I've talked to the owner before. I'm gonna switch servers before it's too late.
I can't talk to Geek Squad unless we call like Best Buy Direct. But if you just look at the Geek Squad number and call that number, you don't get Best Buy. Even though all the stuff's through Best Buy, you don't get that. That's the only computer store that you have around here anymore. And there's one all the way in Cincinnati, an hour and 10 minutes away, one way.
Yep.
I don't know what they're doing. Are they redoing the whole dang thing? Is it that big of an upgrade that they're totally
Yes.
reformulating the whole thing?
Yes, my C panel, they've quit updating the C panel, meaning that my databases are out of date and I would have to do that by hand. So what I did was, okay, great. I'll buy a new server and you just migrate it over from this server to that server. And they can't figure it out. So I'm going to call GoDaddy or somebody that speaks English and tell them what I want. And I'm just going to leave Bluehost. Fuck them. Worst company that I've ever seen, ever since they switched to the Philippines. They say, oh, it's a random transfer. Your ass, I made 50 calls and it's all been the Philippines. I can help you. My name is John. No, it's not. ¿Cómo está now, mabote? Yeah. Oh, you've been to Manila. Yeah, I've been to Manila. Knuckleheads. Go you balut. Yeah, this won't be bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. It was 6
You had your typical panic session when you put your first. All the fuzzies come up and all the.
Yeah,
that's because you did all that sanding. That's why all the fuzzies come back up and all them things and spots rise up and all that stuff.
All these spots here, back here, pretty rough though. It'll take some work.
You probably sanded half the silk screen off of it.
Yeah. Gonna take some work. Well, guys, appreciate you watching. Appreciate the super chats from the last go round, Christopher. I'll be on later this evening. He says, just email and we can talk about stuff. Just send me your phone number and I'll call you about stuff. If we need help with something, I can probably offer that as well, believe it or not. Okay, great. Anyhow, my web art bell.
Phone calls are a lot better than email. You don't have to do all that typing.
Yeah, I'm not a great typist. Just send me your phone number and I'll call you when I get home. Because I'm thoroughly disgusted.
Everybody, don't be a wimp. You need to have your can of hairspray down here in your workshop. And believe me, we do use this hairspray in the workshop. Spray that on anything you're gonna laminate it before you put your epoxy on it. Let it dry. Keeps the epoxy from soaking in. Basically just lacquer. Basically. You'd be good to go with that.
Light lacquer.
Yeah, light lacquer. It comes out real fine. Got the good spray nozzle for what it does. This takes one coat. Doesn't add any weight to it. Just keeps that epoxy from soaking into the wood. Works like a champ. See what am I gonna do here? I gotta do 5/8.
Might want to spray a little bit of that. All right, guys. I'm headed home. Appreciate you watching. And I'll see you later on this evening. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.